Hey everyone, welcome to the 1804 Show, Chapter 2. I'm your host, Dollar Will, and this is episode 658. And tonight, I wanted to do something different. I wanted to do something that I don't normally do, and go back and discuss one of my favorite films, Tales from the Hood. Yeah, I did a movie review with my homie Fly. Shout out to him. Fly Boy 24K. So, even though we did the movie review, I wanted to talk about this particular scene because it was just very deep. Deep as if just knowing that we all have been in a dark place before, to the point of we feel hopeless, we feel broken, we feel defeated, and just wanted to just share my thoughts on was he wrong to feel how he felt. And at this particular point, we all seen the movie. We know what happens to him. But yet, do we sympathize with him or not? And to me, I feel that he's wrong. He was wrong because the choices he made in his life to kill all those people and to have such malice in his heart. Because I could just recall 5 years ago where I was, even though I was depressed, even though I was suicidal, even though I was broken, I never wanted to do those things to anyone. I never wanted to hurt anybody. You ever been at that point in your life where you just feel nothing's ever going to happen or occur? You just feel like you're heading down a dead end. I felt like that, but as much as I wanted to do something to anyone, I didn't want to hurt anybody. I didn't want to kill anybody. And people romanticize these hood films to the point of they soak up the fantasy. Even though the hood films are a depiction of what happens in reality in our society. But at the end of the day, they don't really capture the raw emotions of what happens out there in the streets for real. Because it's a difference. It's a different feeling. Unless you've been shot at or been shot, no movie or film will be able to capture that experience. Because it's special effects. When you've been shot multiple times, from stories that I heard from people who actually been shot, you can't depict that on a film or a movie. The trauma, the aftermath, bullets really penetrating the flesh. There would be no film that can capture that for real. So, from watching it as an adult again, I can say that he was a sociopath. He was toxic. He was vengeful, vindictive, a coward. Because you have to be a coward to kill. And we can say this all day, like the people who in the military who shoot and stuff like that. And I have met someone who served in Afghanistan and he had to kill a kid because a kid was wearing a bomb. And he said that messed him up after he had to do that. But he was serving his country. So when people do things like that, they would never be the same. But this man was just trigger happy. This man was just killing people for no reason. Even when he was strapped to the chair and he was talking to all the people he was killed, he was confronted by it. And you just sit back and you think about, damn, what if every killer has to confront their victims? And what would they say? What would they do? What would happen? And I think some people, depending on the situations or depending on the circumstance, have remorse, will have some type of compassion, but this man had zero compassion whatsoever. So I do believe that he got in what he deserved. Because one thing about God, God gives you an opportunity to repent. God gives you opportunity for redemption, second chances. But it's up to us to put in the work in order for us to be redeemed. And all he did was blame shift, gaslight, manipulate it, because he didn't want to take accountability nor responsibility for his actions. So it just allowed you to sit back and think that these are the personalities of the people that roams our streets. And it's scary. It's a scary situation because you just never know what a person is going through, what a person did. And these are the people that we live amongst. And when he killed that little girl, when the little girl came up, that was like the saddest because she didn't deserve to die. She was just in her home, minding her own business, playing with her doll. And a bullet came through her wall. And that happens every day in our cities. It happens a lot in our urban community when we are just in our homes, minding our own business, and all of a sudden, boom, you know what I'm saying? So it just gives you a different perspective on the choice that you make is going to affect the innocent. It just pissed me off just for him to say, well, the bullet don't have no name on it. You were just at the wrong place at the wrong time. But this man was a menace. This man killed not only men, but women and children. He didn't care. But just the effects. And I watched the interview with the director and the producer talking about it, and just for both of them to say that they wanted the scene to feel as nauseating as possible, as sick as possible, because it is sick. And just the comparisons with the gang members in the Ku Klux Klan, how back in the day they was lynching us and doing horrible acts. And then you go to today's standards that we doing the exact same things as them, the Klan. The comparison was undeniable, and we have to understand that we are complicit in certain things. We are guilty of doing their work, the devil's work. Because when you sit back and think about it, who benefit from black men, black women, black children's demise? It's these funeral and mortuaries. And we have to understand that we have to do our best to work together and not be subjected to black on black crime. But to make a long story short, he was confronted by the angel who plays in the movie, and she's like disguised as a doctor, but Rosalind Cash is her name, and she was pretty much his good conscience that was trying to save him, try to give him a second chance, and to tell him that you are responsible for all the lives you've taken and for the dreams you turn into nightmares. And he talks about, what about my nightmare? What about the nightmare I lived in? What about the nightmare I have lived in since I was born in this motherfucker? Who's responsible for that? I'm sorry, y'all, but I'm just reciting lines. But it just, I try not to be mean. I try to be reasonable because a lot of kids who become adults who had the less circumstances or toxic living environment, from what I got from his excuse or his reasoning, was he didn't have a father in the home. His mother probably was on drugs, or she probably was an alcoholic, or she probably was just unfit and didn't care about him. So he has to go into the streets. And this is a lot of black males who are unprivileged, who has to go into the streets to become a man, to gain acceptance, to gain love, and to gain mentorship. And and I think that's what he was referring to. And it just comes to time where you have to take responsibility for your life and for your actions, and understand that just because you come from a broken circumstance, you are responsible for your life. You can turn it around if you put it in the work. There's a lot of men like myself who didn't have a father in the home, who had to go through horrible situations in the household. But at the end of the day, you control your adulthood. You can become anything you want as long as you put in the work. But to me, he was just making excuses. He wasn't trying to take any responsibility. And that's a lot of us out here. We are afraid to take responsibility. We are afraid to take matters into our own hands. So we become a statistic. And it's unfortunate. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm losing my voice tonight. But it's just what I got from it. And oh, yeah, also, I really like when they put him in a cell with that white supremacist, and that white supremacist, I guess, was trying to psych him out or sizing him up, and he asked him, "Hey man, you want to see something? What's wrong? Are you afraid of me?" So he scoots up, and then he showed him his tattoos. That shows that he's a skinhead. Shows that he's a killer as well. But they're practically doing the same thing. It's killing black people, and he like him, and he feel like, oh, you my buddy, because we're practically teammates, because we doing the exact same thing. So that's what I enjoy, is that whether you're in different gangs or different walks of life, we're doing the exact same thing. So I just really like the writing of that sequence and just showing the comparison of, we're buddies, we're friends because we're on the same team. And just also just the reality of the choices that we make that can lead to the promised land or Death Valley. Whether we like it or not, we have to take full full responsibility of who we become. But I just really like the fact that the angel or the doctor, depending on how you look at it, she says the nightmare ends when you say it does, Jerome. You have to take responsibility to wake up. You have to take responsibility to break this chain. And she said that with such conviction. And then he says, the only responsibility that I take is me, and that's it. And he was just like, do you understand me? And she says, that's the question that's posed to yourself. I give you a chance. I gave you a shot at redemption. Do you understand that? And he just think that this is all fun and games, that this is a crazy, or trying to make him crazy, or trying to make him like a joke. You know what I'm saying? Quit playing with his mind and let him out this chair. And she said, there's nothing stopping you, Jerome. Then as soon as she said that, the shackles became unloosed and he got up and tried to choke the assistant out. And just the fact that he made up his mind and he refused to apologize, he refused to repent, he refused to change. So what else? Death. And the wages of sin is death. And I tell everyone that is to be careful what you wish for, what you ask for, what you put into the universe, because eventually you'll get it all back and then some. So as soon as he said that he didn't give up everything and everybody disappeared, and he went back to him bleeding out on the concrete with the three dudes from the beginning took turns shooting him, and he dies. And I also want to say rest in peace to Lamont Bentley. He gave a wonderful, great performance, because before all of this, he played in on Moesha, South Central, So he was really like the heartthrob and the black urban sitcoms, and I didn't think that he could play a gang member like that. So he has shown his range in this movie, and so sad that he faced a untimely death and ended up dying in a horrible car accident. And just wanted to say, may you rest in peace. I appreciated your contribution to this film, to the character of Crazy K. Even though it was horrific, it was such a great character. And thank y'all for watching. Thank y'all for tuning in. Um, Remember, hit like, comment, subscribe to the channel. I notice a lot of you guys ain't subscribed who watch my videos. So please subscribe to the channel. Hit that bell for future notifications. And if you want to donate to the Cash App, $ the 1804 show. And I'm out. Have a good night. Thank you. Peace.